Hey everyone, and welcome to today's deep dive. I am so glad you're here with us. We've got a lot of ground to cover because, let's face it, the news cycle right now is moving at lightning speed. But don't worry, we're going to cut through the noise and break down the absolute biggest national developments happening today. Grab a coffee, settle in, and let's get right to it.
So what exactly is shaping our nation's trajectory right this very second? I mean, when you open up your news feed, you're just bombarded, right? It's headline after headline fighting for your attention. We're talking massive educational controversies affecting literally millions of students, top-level shifts in government operations, and some truly massive financial moves in agriculture and energy. It is a lot to process. But today, we're filtering out all that extra noise. We're going to look straight at the hard facts so you can actually understand what's unfolding across the country.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for the day. First up, the NEET paper leak update. Then, we'll look at the post-mortem findings regarding the late Pratik Yadav. After that, the recent trimming of the VIP fleet, and finally, some major new decisions hitting the economy and agriculture sectors.
Starting us off with our first major issue today, the NEET paper leak update, focusing on the recent protests and the ongoing investigations.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how fast this situation is escalating. Right in the Capitol, the AVBP has been out protesting, which really highlights the sheer outrage from students and the public over the integrity of this exam. And the authorities, well, they are absolutely ramping up their response. The CBI actually stepped in and spent 4 solid hours at the National Testing Agency, the NTA. And get this, Director General Abhishek Singh was right there with them. That is a clear signal of absolute top-level federal scrutiny. Meanwhile, investigators have traced the origin of this whole mess to a specific deal made in Pune. They found that it involved the creation of 2 PDF documents, specifically for the chemistry and biology exam papers. It's crazy to think about, really. A highly localized leak has essentially snowballed into this massive, multi-agency national crisis.
We turn now to a much more somber update, the demise of Pratik Yadav and the recently released post-mortem findings.
The official post-mortem report has brought some clinical clarity to this tragic event. It confirms that the primary cause of death was indeed a heart attack. The medical examination also brought to light some severe underlying health complications, specifically a lung infection and a blood clot. The final rites are taking place today, and in a gesture of respect, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath visited the family's residence to personally pay his tributes. We just want to share these facts clearly and impartially to give you an objective understanding of the medical reports that have come out.
All right, shifting gears over to government administration. We're looking at the trimming of the VIP fleet and some new fuel-saving measures. So the crucial point here is the number 2. That is the new baseline for the Prime Minister's convoy. Prime Minister Modi is essentially setting an example for fuel conservation by leaving his residence with a motorcade that's been cut down to just 2 vehicles. And what's really fascinating about this is how fast it's trickling down the ranks. Seeing this, several other ministers immediately reduced their own car fleets. And it's not even staying in the capital. Multiple state chief ministers are also jumping on board to cut down the number of vehicles in their official convoys. It's a very straightforward, measurable move aimed right at conserving fuel and managing resources better across the board.
Finally, let's wrap up with economy and agriculture, specifically looking at some major new financial approvals.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the number 2,441 rupees. The government just officially bumped up the minimum support price, or MSP, for Kharif crops. You know, those essential crops planted during the monsoon season. Because of this shift, ordinary paddy now has a guaranteed baseline price of 2,441 rupees per quintal. That is a direct financial injection. It's designed to boost the baseline incomes for folks in the rural agricultural sector. Honestly, this is absolutely crucial data if you want to understand the current economic strategy for rural development. Let's move to our next figure and see how this builds into an even bigger picture. 37,500 crore rupees. That is a massive budget, and it's specifically allocated for coal gasification. If you're not familiar, that's a process that basically turns raw coal into synthetic gas, which is way cleaner and super versatile for industrial use. By pouring money into this, the government is making a huge push for industrial development. I mean, this isn't just some minor policy tweak. Approving 37,500 crore rupees is a massive long-term commitment to upgrading our energy infrastructure and really expanding our industrial capabilities.
Well, we have definitely covered a lot of ground today, from the deep impact of the NEET investigations and some really sobering national losses, all the way to trimming down VIP fleets and those massive financial investments in agriculture and energy. So the big question remains, how will these simultaneous shifts in education, governance, and agriculture actually shape our nation's immediate future? Take a moment to think about how these seemingly different updates might interconnect and eventually impact your daily life. Thanks so much for joining me today to break all this down, and as always, keep asking the big questions.